Freddie Benson iCarly in 3, 2, 1.
Is that I never watched
Yeah,
iCarly.
that's how the show started.
Yeah?
Yeah, the theme song had Freddie go, and in 3, 2, 1, and then iCarly started singing. It seems to me like all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's how that goes.
it's
I
the
never
theme.
watched iCarly.
Yeah, that's how it goes. It's a pretty cool show.
Anyway, I guess I'll proper intro now. This
You want to
is
lead all? Okay. You
yeah.
want to do the real one? Real one?
I'll do kind of a rule. And this is MALadjusted, our anime podcast with me Yams and you Wade.
Me, Yams, and you, Wade. That's 3 people.
No, I was saying me, comma Yams, and you, comma Wade.
I don't understand. You just listed 3 people.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, this is a podcast where we talk about anime.
What anime do you want to talk about? You been watching anything?
I have been watching a few things, but you've been watching things that I'm watching. So go ahead and start with what you've been watching.
Well, I asked first. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna be the big man, and I'll tell you about what I've been watching. I'm watching Sunny Boy. I've been watching Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. That's it. Those are the only 2 shows I'm watching this season. Everything else is trash.
That's good to hear. I'm watching a couple more things. Well, I guess technically I'm watching 2 more things, which is a couple. Uh, but I did also watch a few more things this week that I will talk about as well. But how was Dragon Maid?
Um, it is. It's really, really weird. Like, it felt to me like in the first season, it wasn't explicitly horny and crazy all the time. Given when the first season came out, I was like literally 16 and probably like not picking up on a lot of that. But this
Mm-hmm.
season, it just feels like every little bit is very heavy with it. Like there's always some gynaxing going on, and there's that whole bit with Kobayashi growing a body part that she wouldn't normally have.
Yeah, she gets a magic penis.
Yeah, she's a magic peanut.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's basically the same show with bits, and then the whole like kind of heavy-handed dragons and humans can coexist no matter what you say or what happened to you. We'll make it through.
Yeah, that's like
It's a fun show.
I think that's just like classic like Kyoani schmaltziness, right?
Uh, yeah, to an extent. Um, I definitely think this one's more ham-fisted than their standard fare. But I guess some of their movie productions are more like that. Like the Silent Voice was a little heavy-handed on the whole message of that film. But it's still fine.
Yeah.
Still good movies.
I think if you're thinking that this second season is like more perverse or like, etchy joke oriented than the first one, I think you might have been asleep at the wheel. Because the
I
first
was probably asleep at the wheel. I won't lie. I was 16. Like
yeah,
it could have been.
first season definitely had a lot of it, and especially the way it was marketed. I noticed a huge difference between the way, like the PV for the original first season was super heavy on, whoa, this is a dragon chick with huge knockers. And the second season was, I guess, a lot more kind of like comedy oriented in how it was presented, much more about like, oh, this is like, slice of life humor and jokes, and not just inherently, whoa, sexy, funny, right? Like boobs are
Yes.
fun.
Whoa. She
Yeah.
has breasts and they're going everywhere. Now please laugh.
Yeah, I think in terms of the actual content, it's pretty on par. Uh, I would say, yeah, I don't notice a huge difference in terms of like the severity of the etchy content between the 2 seasons. Because I did rewatch the first season prior to the second airing. Uh, Now, Sunny Boy, I actually did not get a chance today to watch the latest episode, so no
I
spoilers
didn't
on that
either.
front. But oh,
No
okay,
spoilers.
so we haven't
We got the
watched it
first 2
yet.
episodes.
But as far as the first 2 episodes are concerned, I'm excited. I let myself get excited for originals when I really shouldn't anymore. Uh, but
Yeah.
It's a Madhouse show that looks like a Madhouse show. It's got a lot of fun, references to other properties, and it's got a lot of talented people working on it. So hopefully it does not crash and burn. Uh, Hopefully I get just a fun, enjoyable series out of it. Not much else I can say other than that it's been just like really good and really interesting.
I love that Madhouse isn't AFK doing Overlord and they're doing something weird again finally.
Mm-hmm. I
It's
I could not believe the CG goblins in Overlord, dude.
I couldn't. It was insane. I Overlord is just insane. I hate it so much.
I watched all 3 seasons of it, man.
I watched the first season and I'm like, that's enough for me. I'm fine. I
You
see what this is.
you got out at the peak.
Yeah. I got out of the point where he spends like literally 5 minutes casting buffs on himself.
That's a really funny
And
bit, by the way.
it's a funny bit. It's a great bit. I won't lie. I'll give it credit for that.
The rest of it, sheesh.
Yeah, the rest of it doesn't need to exist.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking another isekai show. And the guy is so busted and everyone wants to have sex with him, even though he is skeleton and no penis.
That's right. And we'll get back to that in a bit. But what I've been watching that is not the same things that you're watching, I'm watching a few more things. I'm watching The Detective Is Already Dead, which you and I watched the first episode of, and you thought it was really stupid and did not want to keep watching.
I
But
did look up today. I did look up the clip of the VTubers in that show. I like just found it on YouTube. The
mm-hmm,
guy uploaded. He's like, "Here's the cameo." It really was like 30 seconds. They're like
yeah,
barely there.
it's not a lot. They just like run like a idle news show, like in the context of the anime. It's almost
Yeah,
nothing.
it's kind of a joke,
But
but I guess that's to be expected.
yeah, I mean, like, what I don't. I think the cost would be much more to have like
Yeah,
them on as like real
way too
characters,
much.
But
Yeah,
as far as that show goes, it is dumb. It's definitely like I don't think it's a mystery show. It'll say it's a mystery show, but like there's no shot you're figuring it out where the characters are because like they come
yeah.
out of left field with just insane conclusions. And it's really fun and it's not smart at all, but I'm having a blast. I'll keep watching.
Yeah, I watched the first episode, and not only did I not know it was going to be 45 minutes of my life, but it was also like annoying from each second, like progressively more. Like you could draw a graph
Mm-hmm.
of my enjoyment watching it, and it was like straight down.
I was the opposite.
Every second was worse.
I was getting more and more into it. I love how dumb it is.
It's so stupid. It's so cringe. I really
Bro,
don't get it.
but
Like
the scene where she like whips out the gun and like dashes up to the guy
it's
and
so
like
dumb.
shoots him, it's real one, it's actually legitimately like a cool animation cut, but also it's just like I don't know, it's really stupid and really fun. That's all I can say. That's those are the only words I have on it. What I've also been watching, which is way more like kind of a down to earth thing, is the Aquatope on White Sand, which is a fun, uh, you know, little. I guess you could call it a slice of life, but it's more like a small drama about just this girl who quits being an idol and she moves out of Tokyo. She failed. She moved to Tokyo to make it in the big city as an idol, and she couldn't cut it. So she leaves and impulsively makes her way to Okinawa, where she starts working at an aquarium with this other girl who has blue hair and is all super stoked about inheriting her grandfather's aquarium, and she's gonna work hard this whole summer to make sure that the aquarium stays open. And I figured when I was watching the trailer, like, oh hey, this might be a show where the girls kiss, and I think I'm probably getting baited, and they're not going to kiss, but I'll stick around.
Yeah, it's the boy, you already mentioned it was a girls kissing show.
Yeah, I did. I did mention I thought it was a girls kissing show, which you watched that and thought the same thing, which is why you said to me like, "This is a you show, dude."
Yeah, I was like, this is a Yev show, 100%. It's just got like girls who are either going to kiss or cry a lot, and like either of those two criteria are like, yeah, this is a Yam show.
Yeah, I
I
do
don't know.
like.
I thought about watching it.
I like shows where girls are sad too. Like, have you seen Sora No Method?
No.
It's a show where it's nothing but girls being sad for like 12 episodes or something like that. It's a fun watch. I liked it.
What's it at in your mouth?
I think I have I've got to have it at like a 7 or a 6 or something. You know, it's not great, but it's like I enjoy
Oh, there you have it. Yam show.
it.
Girls being sad for 12 episodes.
Mhm. Also,
Watching anything else?
I watched 2 more things. I watched a movie last weekend. It's
Oh
on
yeah.
Netflix actually. So in case, you know, surely you have a Netflix subscription. Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop. It's a pretty short, extremely simple teen summer romance movie about a boy who's insecure about the poetry because he's like a haiku guy. He uh, goes around writing these haiku and he's all about it, but his insecurity is, you know, he doesn't want to talk to people. He wears headphones so like people don't talk to him. He's especially embarrassed about reading his haiku out loud. That's his whole insecurity. And then the girl is she's like a live streamer, like social media influencer type girl who lives in like a streaming house with her family, and she has just suddenly acquired, like, you know, teenagers do, an insecurity about her body that, you know, she totally was fine with before, which is that she has buck teeth and she has braces to, you know, correct her teeth. And that's what she's insecure about. So she's like wearing a mask the whole time and she doesn't want to, you know, be seen. But it's just like a really simple, bright, colorful, well produced teen summer romance that I think is just fun. It's just an enjoyable watch. You put it on, you don't have to think too hard about it. They have, you know, some fun adventures with some colorful side characters. There's like I guess a South American immigrant boy named Beaver who's one of the cast.
What?
Yeah, his name is Beaver for no reason.
That's sick.
They don't explain it.
I love that his name's Beaver.
Yeah, it's tight. Uh,
That's sick. They fixed each other.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Something you don't see every day.
I think, you know, it's the trailer also kind of. I wouldn't watch the trailer. The trailer kind of gives away like
Okay.
the flow of the movie, which trailers do that. I don't get why some trailers, especially movie trailers, they'll just like spoil the whole movie for no reason.
Yeah.
But that I enjoyed watching. Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop. It's on Netflix. It's not that long. Just go ahead and watch it. It's fun. What might be less fun though is I watched the first 2.5 episodes of Peach Boy Riverside.
Oh yeah.
Now, Peach Boy Riverside is much like Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. It's an adaptation of a manga by Cool Kyoshinsha, and
Same guy.
same guy. And normally, I think it would be probably like, you know, par for the course with what you would see in Maid Dragon. Like, there's some like girl with boob humor in there, and like, you know, some decent comedy. But the thing that's interesting about Peach Boy Riverside, the anime adaptation, is they decided to air the episodes wrong on purpose.
Oh, they did a Haruhi.
Yeah, they did a Haruhi with a show that has like a deliberate linear narrative.
What?
Yeah. So
For what? Like purpose?
I'll get to that. So Episode 1 is actually episode 2, and episode 2 is actually episode 3. And I think episode 3 is like episode 9 or something. It's crazy.
Huh?
Anyway, the reason there's an Anime News Network article about it from July the 1st. And the reason is, here's a quote: "It's difficult to explain, but the main reason is the manga is still running. When I discussed writing the series before production, we discussed how to end the story. At that point, the manga was in between volume 6 and volume 7, so the end of the adventure hadn't been created yet. If we animated the series based on the manga as is, it would end in the middle of the story." Now, I have no idea how that makes sense or how that justifies the decision to just mix it up. Does that
I
make sense to you?
No, like just make shit up. Do what everyone else does, or don't make shit up and just adapt what's there. Like, what's the point? Like,
Yeah,
you're
or just wait to make the
wait.
anime
Yeah,
until it is done. Like, I don't under there the explanation they give is so nonsensical. I'm having to believe that it's just not translated right in this article. Like, there's no
yeah.
way that that's what he said and meant.
I can't believe that. That's so absurd that it's out of order because they didn't have an ending yet.
Yeah. Now, the thing is that it is possible to watch the episodes in the appropriate listed chronological order. However, that is exclusive to a separate Japanese anime streaming service.
Oh, so they're like double dipping on when they're airing. What?
Yeah. And
Why?
and so what Crunchyroll has, so like what we will get in the West, because Crunchyroll, has the rights to stream it, is the television uh, order, which is the totally wacky, out of order like sequence. It's completely insane. It is so funny. It is maybe the funniest decision that I've seen. Like, because it doesn't help them.
Yeah, it's trolling
Yeah, they are
actively.
trolling. It's
What?
really funny. So that's, I mean, I don't think I'm going to keep watching Peach Boy Riverside, because it's like, so you know how in Maid Dragon, like the most boring parts of the series are when the dragons are describing like what their life was like in the fantasy world.
Yes, that shit's so boring.
Peach Boy
That's the whole
Riverside
show?
is just those parts. It's the whole thing.
Oh, why?
I don't know. I guess he wanted to. I guess the creator wanted to just like flesh out their fantasy world, or maybe they made this first. I don't know the lore. Regardless, it's fine. There's the characters are. I like the little rabbit girl, Frau.
There's a
She's
rabbit?
yeah. The one of
Oh,
the
I think I've seen her.
yeah, one of the main characters is Frau. She's a little bunny girl, but like more like a cute like you know not like a bunny girl like you would think of, but like an actual rabbit woman. And she's cute.
Uh-huh.
She wears like a sailor school uniform for no reason. She says fashion, just that word, when asked about it, and that's a funny joke. Uh, yeah, I don't think I'll keep watching it. If I do decide to watch it later, it will be after the series is done, and I can just watch it in like the not trolling order.
Yeah, I that's gonna be a real thinker for anyone trying to go back to watching it.
Yeah, there's gonna be guys out there that are gonna be like, "Oh no, no, no! You have to watch it in the television order."
Yeah, that shit's so insane to me. Like it's been like that with Haruhi for fucking ever. And it's insane over there, even if it makes like a little tiny bit of sense. But it's like, come on, man, why did this have to happen?
Yeah, they got to come out with a better explanation, because the one I have makes zero sense.
They gotta make some shit up if that is the reason.
Yeah, they just gotta lie. Like,
Yeah, you gotta come up with something.
hmm but as far as like seasonal stuff and like recently airing stuff. I think that's about it. Uh, but I know that we've, also been consuming some content that maybe is not seasonal or super current. What you been into?
I haven't read or watched much this week. I watched like an episode or two from where I left off of His and Her Circumstances, the old Hideaki Anno adaptation of the manga of the same name. It's just like a romance manga or a romance anime that doesn't really pull any punches. It kind of does what it says on the tin and got through before the meta of romance anime developed, where you just milk it for as long as you physically possibly can without having a relationship develop. It was trying to deliver like a story,
Right.
as opposed to make money and then make a story.
Yeah. Not
And
not
it's
employing the
really good so
Nisekoi
far.
method.
Yeah, the Nisekoi method is not on display. It's it's really good. I'm only on like episode 4, but like obviously Honest directing is fucking insane, and the show's moving at a pretty brisk pace. I don't really have much to say about it considering it's still kind of introducing the premise, but it's really fucking good. I can't wait to finish it.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that one for a while because I watched Nadia and the Secret of Blue Water, which was another Hideaki Anno directed anime, the one he did directly before Evangelion. And as far as I'm
Yeah.
aware, Karikano, His and Her Circumstance, was the one he did after, right? He did that directly after Evangelion.
He did it after End of Eva 2, and I think he did another film and then he did Karikano.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what it was called. I'm pretty sure he did some like weird experimental art film.
Okay.
Let me look. Yeah, it was called Love and Pop.
Never heard of that
He
one
did
actually.
that. It's a 1998 Japanese experimental film based on the novel Topaz 2 by Ryu Murakami,
Cool.
which is crazy. Uh, I've never heard of this actually. Like outside of, oh, he did this at this point, but
Mm-hmm.
like I didn't click on the article ever to see what it was.
Right.
Maybe I'll watch this. What's its runtime? 110 minutes.
Yeah, you can
Not
knock
bad.
that out. That's easy.
I don't think it's anime though.
That's fine. He's I
I think
mean,
it's just a film.
he's done regular, like he did Shin Godzilla and he's going to do Shin Ultraman. I've got to watch Shin Godzilla, by the
Yeah,
way. That I've heard it's
I gotta
really
watch that
cool.
shit too. I've heard it's sick.
So aside from that, what else have you been watching or reading or whatever it might be?
Not much to be honest with you. I read the new Toho manga chapter. Uh, Good as always. I love the Toho mangas. The new one. I say new, but it's probably been going for about like what, a year and a half now. It's sort of contrived based on this like new girl that they made for the manga, who is just like a fucking like house spirit for a bar in like some village. There's really only one village, but we're gonna call it some village because I don't want to explain Toho.
Yeah, I'm
So they're
not.
in this village, and she is in this bar, and she
Mhm.
works there. But like people start like having insane nightmares whenever they drink shit she made, and it it sort of spirals into like, why is this happening? And then a bunch of yokai start visiting the bar, and they're just hanging out there, and it's not really clear what direction it's going in. It really isn't with Toho manga. That's not really the point. It
Mhm.
just kind of has stuff happen at you, and you're like, oh, cool. But it's good. It's really good. I love it a lot.
So
New
is it
chapter was neat. She got trapped in a bottle and then freed from being in a bottle.
so is the Toho manga, is it like a license thing, or is it just like another Toho thing where like everything is a dojin work, or like what's the deal with it?
Uh, it's licensed. It's written by Zune and
Oh,
drawn by like I forget the artist, but every manga he's written he's had like a different person draw it every time. So the last one he did, Wild and Horned Hermit, had its own artist, and then the one before that, fucking Forbidden Scrollery had its own artist, and this one has its own artist.
That's cool.
So he's just been doing it like that, but he writes it, and it's all really good stuff.
That's awesome.
Toho manga is so sick.
You want to tell me what else is so sick?
Legend of Polka every Thursday, 6 a.m.
What was this episode about?
This episode of Legend of Polka was about they held, it was really weird. They held like a competition between Polka and the staff where they would have like a category of item, and then either of them would present an item of that category, and through some manner, is all I can really say, they decide who wins. So they would have a category of item like an item with sentimental value, and the staff would present like a wallet, and Polka would present a picture of an idol, and they would describe like why, and then they would riff on it, and then somehow decide who won. It's not really clear how or why the person won each time, but someone wins, and Polka won at the end. And she had her co-host Izutsu, a member of the Hololive staff, who's pretty much only on Legend of Polka, had to make the next episode a fashion show. So the next episode, I think they're just going to dress up Izutsu in all sorts of outfits that Polka decides. So that's gonna be cool.
For context, Polka is the VTuber, Hololive VTuber.
Yeah, the Hololive VTuber of 5th generation. She's almost like 5th generation's almost a year old. That's fucked up.
Mm-hmm, it's been a while.
I think it might be a little bit over a year old.
I know you're a way bigger like VTuber guy than I am, so like you can appreciate that a lot more than me.
Yeah, it's crazy. It feels like they've been here forever. Like, I don't know, man. All the JP generations are just, I don't know where they find people that talented, but they just keep bringing them out. And Ian's talented too. Don't get me wrong. They just had their new English V singer, even though she's basically doing the same thing as a VTuber.
Yeah, I don't know
Iris.
what's the distinction there.
There's not really a big distinction. I don't even know if there's a distinction, like a huge distinction internally. I don't know if it just means they're going to fund original songs, or, but she's still expected to keep up with like VTubing duties of, you know, like streaming games and talking and shit like that. But I don't know, like, other than that, what's too different. Because if a VTuber wants to also do singing and original songs, they can do that as well, and they have support avenues in Hololive to, you know, release songs. Calliope has like 2 albums or 2 EPs out, and one of them's on like vinyl, and she's, you know, official Gen 1 like EN, not a singer.
Right.
But I don't know. We'll see what V singer means.
Who knows? So
Not me.
That's just about all that you've like, as outside of seasonal stuff. That's like just what you've been doing this week.
Yeah, I haven't really watched much. I've been gaming a lot.
No, I haven't watched any other anime besides what I mentioned there, but I did read a manga. I read Chainsaw Man finally. A lot of people
have been, like it?
A lot of people told me that I should read Chainsaw Man, and I feel a little bad because people definitely did hype it up a lot, and I did enjoy it quite a bit. But a lot of people kind of gave me the impression that like it is going to be the craziest thing you ever see, and it was good. I liked, you know, it was really well drawn. I liked a lot of the action in it, but what it made me excited for was to see, you know, its anime adaptation, because assuming that that production does not completely fall apart and Mappa grinds all their animators' bones to dust, I think that a lot of the scenes in Chainsaw Man will be a lot cooler in motion, I think.
That's the shonen thing, isn't it? Though, like,
Well,
there's not many shonen manga that I think. I mean, it's a shonen, right? Like,
it's more of a seinen.
Ew.
Yeah. And usually, I mean, with like, because like my other point of reference for like a seinen manga that I really like that got an adaptation would be Vinland Saga, and I thought Vinland
Yeah.
Saga anime was like pretty good, but you know, with that I didn't feel when I was reading the manga like, man, I really wish I could see this in motion because the Vinland Saga manga is just incredible. It's fantastic.
It's so good. It's like amazing.
But with Chainsaw Man, it was really good and it looks great. But it did make me think like, man, if I could like see the movement in between these two panels, it would be really cool. And thankfully, hopefully, you know, if the production is good, we'll get to see that. And you know, a lot of people also told me here's the thing: I didn't want to read Chainsaw Man because it was ongoing, and I knew that I would be tricked and hooked, and I would have to read it, you know, weekly or monthly or whenever, however the release schedule is for it, and I would be stuck with it for so long. So I was like, I'll wait till it's finished and I'll read it then. And I was like, oh yeah, 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 it's done, it's done, it's done, it's finished. And I'm like, okay, cool. It's not finished, dude.
Yeah, it's not finished. It's
Part
it like
one.
went on hiatus. Yeah, it was part one. They're just gonna do another one.
I got tricked.
That's yeah, you got tricked. Didn't know it was over, or it wasn't over.
Yeah,
Unlucky.
it's fine though. I do like where they left off with part one, and if for some reason I did want to stop reading and just leave it at that, I could probably be okay with it. But it's not
Yeah,
really done. But I look
yeah.
forward to, you
I don't.
know, I look forward to keep on reading. Like they got me. It's good. I like it a lot.
I feel about Jujutsu Kaisen right now because it's like on hiatus for like a while. It like probably a month now. It's been. It ended like this really fucking crazy insano arc, and just like it's also off the tail of the arc like before that, which was like a big, huge like upturn of the entire like thing, like the entire like series, and then the fucking one after that was also crazy, and now it's just like, yeah, I'm going hiatus for like forever. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
So are you
That's where we're at now, and I'm just like, I just want it to come back.
okay? Are you saying though? Are you saying that you feel the same way I do about Chainsaw Man, where if you stopped right here, you'd be
Oh
fine?
no, I'm just saying, I want to read more.
Oh, okay, okay.
I don't think I could. I don't know. I could stop. I could probably forget. Is the thing. If
I've
I remember, I'm not stopping. But if I forget, it's anyone's game.
I've forgotten a few things in my day.
Yeah. Sometimes you just really like a series, but then something fucked up happens to you, and you're like, all right, well, I'll come back to this when it's done, or when I want to get back to it, and it never happens.
Yep.
That happened to me with Villain Saga because when I was reading it, uh, like a chapter got skipped in the fucking reader I was using, and it had like a weird translation available, and then there was one in the wrong order, and I'm like, this is too fucked up. It's gonna get fixed in like a week, I hope. And I never checked back. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I want to get back to Vinland Saga too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of manga I need to read.
Vinland Saga has recently itself gone on hiatus. By the way.
Oh no.
So hey, you know, you got time to catch up.
Yeah, I don't know. They just gotta stop fucking pulling blood from the stone on all these manga artists. Give them a break.
Yeah. The thing that's crazy about the guy who does Vinland Saga, Makoto Yukimura, is that I looked up like because he also made one of my favorite manga of all time, which is Planetes, and that he made Planetes from 1999 to 2004, and then he made a
Mm-hmm.
one shot in 2004, and then he started Vinland Saga in 2005 through to 2021 present day. So he's just been like nose to the grindstone for 22 years.
That's insane.
And the thing is they're like all like this. Like all these like manga authors, these creators, they're all just like they've just been squeezed for decades. And I don't know
Yeah,
how
blood
they
from the
do it.
stone.
I don't
I
understand.
have no idea how they like live.
It's too much.
It's way too fucking much.
But
Ugh.
that's about all
Got
the
any?
anime manga that we've actually like been reading or watching. Do you got any current events? Any news you want to talk about?
I got some anime news. I got anime news pulled the fuck up. You hear about this shit in France?
Yeah, I did read the article you linked, and it is very funny.
Yeah, it's they apparently in France the government launched a program that gives 300 euros, which is like about $350, to like every 18-year-old to spend on like arts.
Yeah,
And I don't know
culture.
like yeah, it was like an app, I'm pretty sure. And I don't know exactly what like all was on the app, if you could buy just like different kinds of books or if you could like order, I don't know, like art pieces or some shit like that.
Well,
But
I think the thing
apparently
I think the thing was like you could use it like at like stores, like record stores or
uh
bookstores or stuff like that.
interesting. But the New York Times made a report that was like 75% of all purchases that they made through this program are books. And then 2/3 of that, of all the books, were manga. So like most of the like purchases going on, like a vast majority were just French people buying manga, which is like sick.
It is really funny and really cool uh to hear that because like I don't know, I think obviously I like manga a lot. I think sequential storytelling, comics, graphic novels, things like that, they're very awesome. They're a cool, good art form. I like them a lot. Uh, but the idea of like the government thinking, oh, we give these kids money, they're going to be seeing French art films, they're going to be going to museums, they're going to be, you know, listening to, you know, French music. But no, they're just buying Attack on Titan, dude. Like,
Yeah, get cucked, dude. They're reading One Piece now. Like, unlucky.
they did not foresee that.
Yeah, they weren't ready for it. You know, I wish the government would give me money to
Yeah,
spend on manga.
to buy
Where's
manga
my money?
specifically. Yeah, I need my manga stimulus. I've been meaning to buy like the complete Goodnight Pun Pun collection for a bit. And you know, give me a stimmy for it.
Yeah, Joe Biden at Joe Biden on Twitter
Yeah.
right now.
Give me the manga
Tell him
stimmy.
give give money to me for manga and nothing else. You got a let's get you got a piece of news? Give me a piece of news.
I got one piece of news that's, you know, relevant to anime. And it is the new trailer that was put out recently for the film Inuo, which is a movie made by Studio Science Saru, directed by Masaaki Yuasa, and it is a it's just like a minute long, this short little preview, but it gets me so excited because Masaaki Yuasa is a director who has made a lot of very cool productions, and one of the productions that is like most well regarded by him is Ping Pong the animation, uh, based on the manga Ping Pong, and the author of that manga, I believe his name was Taiyo Matsumoto. He is doing the character design for this movie Inuo. So if you look at it, it does look, you know, similar to how Ping Pong looked, and I really like that art style. You know, he did Ping Pong. He also did a movie directed by another guy, but still, you know, in his art style, adapted from his manga Tekkun Kincrete, which is a really cool movie, really aesthetically interesting, and I love his character designs. I like Yuasa's directing style. I like the subject matter. It's a movie about a blind biwa player. I believe his name is Tomona in the movie, meeting the titular Inuo, who is like this monstrous, disfigured type dude who suddenly discovers through Tomona that he has the ability to dance. And he can, and as he dances, he becomes more beautiful, is how it's described. So I'm really interested to
What?
see how that plays out because it is based on very loosely based on history. Because there was a guy Inuo who was a sarugaku performer, which was a I guess like a older type of like Japanese theater. Sarugaku meaning monkey music. Uh, and he was like a playwright, performer, musician. Uh, but was like a real person, not like a freaky monster man, but like still it's very very loosely based on a real story, and I'm just excited to see kind of like what it comes up as.
Yeah, give me the goods, Yuasa. I was surprised that he was even like still directing. Like I thought he was pretty much like out of the door at that point. So it was surprising that he had still has another show for us.
Mm-hmm. This is apparently, I mean, I think this is like his last one for like a while, and he's like taking a step back. But
Yeah,
I'm hoping that means that he's really putting a lot into this one because I've liked his recent offerings, with the exception of Japan Sinks that I didn't watch because people told me that it wasn't good. But
yeah, I didn't watch that shit either.
I liked Ride Your Wave. I like Lou Over the Wall. Those are more kind of stuff you would see that are very family friendly, very like more fluffy, typical fun romance type stories, I guess. But it's good that he's doing something that looks, you know, I guess, it's presumptive of me to like, oh, why don't you go back to the old you? It's so much cooler. But it is kind of cool that it looks
Yeah,
like,
go back, Eminem, do drugs.
yeah, it looks like he is going back and doing something just a little bit weirder, just a little bit more interesting to me at least. Uh, and I'm excited for
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it too. It seems sick.
it. It was going to release this year, but obviously, anime production for the past basically year and a half, coming up on 2 years, has been maybe the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah. So it's getting delayed to next year, but I'll wait for
I'll wait.
it.
I'll wait for the goods.
Speaking of things that were
Like
delayed,
that.
you want to talk about something that was delayed?
What? You want to Japan? You want to talk about the Japan Olympics, man? That was delayed.
That was delayed quite a
That was,
ways.
that was delayed a long time, and it probably should have been delayed more.
Yeah. But
Like, it's insane to me that they went through. Like, you would see, like, leading up to the Japan Olympics, like, everyone is saying this is a bad idea. Japanese government's like, no, look, it's fine. Look, we'll do it. It's fine. Nothing bad will happen. We'll just do it, man. We'll just do it. And then they did it, and it was a fucking bad idea.
yeah, it's crazy to
It's
me
rough over there.
that they went through with it because the only things that I know about the Japan 2020 Summer Olympics is that the people in Japan hate it. Uh like everyone's getting COVID in Japan anyway,
Everyone.
and the no sex beds.
Yeah. What's up with that? You gotta give them the sex beds.
How are you going to gather like the most genetically gifted humans in the world and not let them at least try to make an Ubermensch?
Yeah. You can make the best guy. You can make like a broken like RPG character, and you won't let it happen.
Yeah, they're not letting them max out
COVID be damned.
stats, dude. Like,
COVID be damned.
That's
It's
right.
your responsibility. You gotta let them. You gotta let them bust.
at least like once.
At least once. They're gonna get COVID anyway. Who fucking cares?
Their
The fucking whole country has COVID. It's insane. And now you're bringing everyone in the Olympics.
kill off half the athletes from COVID, but you know what? The ones that survive and the ones that got knocked up, gonna make super babies.
Hey, yeah, best baby ever. Immune to COVID completely.
That's right. Built it.
Rest of the world dies. COVID, it fucking mutates. We're all dead. Babies, those are fine. But they didn't have sex beds, so now we're all dead. We're all
Hmm.
screwed.
Japan could
But
have saved the world.
at least we get to listen to music of the Olympics. Near music of the Olympics. Near music at the Olympics. There we go. We got it all.
Yeah, they had a lot of video game music, but I was surprised that, some tracks from Near got in there.
Yeah, it was crazy. I like to imagine that they had somehow to go through Yoko Taro to get the rights for this. So they probably didn't.
Yeah.
But I like to imagine that there were some Olympic personnel who had to interact with Yoko Taro and be aware of his existence.
And he
It's
was
really funny in
wearing
my head.
and he was wearing the
And he
immune
was
tech.
wearing the head.
Yeah,
He was wearing the head. Of course he was.
of course.
He's like shows up and he's sitting in his office just like at a table, near head on, Olympic spokesman's like, hey, we got Olympics going on. You want a song? And he says, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
And they get the song.
That's exactly how it probably happened.
That's how it happened. That's how business happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's always performed A, comically, and B, in English.
That's right. Speaking of business and Near, we have been playing.
No.
We've been playing Near Reincarnation.
Oh, we have.
Yeah, we.
It's tough.
The thing that sucks is we have to.
Yeah, there's like no choice not to because they made it like a Near game.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna be mandatory.
Square Enix obviously just decided that they were going to make a Near Gacha game, and he had to do it. But it's still a Yoko Taro produced project, and
Mm-hmm.
now I have to play it.
Yeah,
I don't think, just from what I understand about when the game came out and people got their hands on it in Japan or just like spoofed and got it early and just knew Japanese, whatever the case. I've heard it's not really that connected to Nier lore proper, but like I wasn't really playing it for that. I was playing it to play a Yoko Taro project, and so far, despite not being able to escape the trappings of a Square Enix produced mobile game or even just a mobile game in general, I'm still having a good time with it.
yeah. I've it really does. It really does kind of like nail the idea of what if the weapon stories in Nier were like a whole game.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's got nice little self-contained stories that don't really relate to the whole overarching plot of Nier, and it seems like it's got a lot going for it. I know it has like fully rendered like console like full production level cutscenes in it, which is going to be neat. I haven't seen any yet, but I'm not that far into the game. I'm kind of playing it in between doing other stuff just when I have nothing else to do.
Yeah,
But
I
I'm
haven't
excited.
I haven't played a great deal of it either. I did manage to pull A2 in the Automata like crossover gotcha roll. So I got at least one of them. I didn't get 2B or 9S, which are obviously the ones that you really want, but A2 is cool.
I wanted A2, but I got 2B.
Dang.
Kind of at an impasse here. I wanted A2, but 2B is really cool.
2B is
I
really
got her like
cool.
weapon with it too. Uh, apparently, like I started the game. I think there was like a little ARG they did before launch where they gave like a bajillion like character and weapon upgrade materials. So I was able to just like max level basically all of my characters.
Wow.
And I'm just like walking up and doing like 120,000 damage to everything and just one-shotting the entire game. So I'm basically just kind of watching the story at this point. The game isn't really a challenge, but I think that's probably to be expected.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I haven't used any of the upgrade materials, and I'm still having it just set to auto 2x speed for battles and just
Yeah.
not playing the game.
Yeah, now it just takes less time. I just walk through, go through the fucking battles that don't have cutscenes associated to them, just AFK doing other stuff, and then walk up to the story one and watch the cutscene. Be like, hey, that was pretty good. Move on, close the game, move on.
Yeah.
It's just a fun little cycle.
Yeah, and
Game sucks, but story's cool.
yeah, I guess I'll keep playing it until I get to the point where like I can't just have it on auto 2x speed. At which point I'll get mad and I'll close it and I'll never open it again. Just like what happened when I tried to play Fire Emblem Heroes and Dragalia Lost.
I like Fire Emblem Heroes. I played Fire Emblem Heroes for a fucking while.
I did play for a bit too. I liked the gameplay; it was fun.
Yeah, it had pretty good gameplay. I quit basically like once they just started introducing completely random new like mechanics. Like I was fine with, you had your character and they had like their skills and you could like inherit skills and that created like a cool little interplay. But then they introduced like hero elements and you could change them and elements did certain things on certain days based on what elements were active in the banner. And then there was like weapon forging where you could make your weapon do like +1 fucking super attack or whatever and put an extra skill on a weapon, and they just kept adding mechanic after mechanic after mechanic, and it's like this is too fucking much for me to keep up with and too stupid. I'm out. And I haven't played it since.
Wow, I got out like before that.
Yeah, it was no good.
Well,
Fire
that's
Emblem Heroes suck
unfortunate.
dick. But I think it'll probably be the case for the Nier game that at the very least you can get through the main story, and then the side events that they use to support the game from then on, which probably is just gonna suck. I don't think people probably have much interest for a gacha type game following the gacha formula without a Yoko Taro like story. And just because there's not many characters in Nier, you can't really add that many people. You can't do very much with the IP in the context of a gacha game like you could with such an established series like Fire Emblem with a fucking bajillion characters and a bajillion different stories worked on by a bajillion different people,
Mm-hmm.
like you can with like an auteur directed project like Nier.
Yeah, I guess it would kind of be like, I don't know, like making a Metal Gear gotcha game, you know?
Yeah, it would be exactly like that, which is probably going to happen. Well, I don't know. Fucking seems like Konami just wants to make pachinko machines and not really do anything else because apparently it makes them the most money.
I don't even know if that's true anymore. I literally don't know
I
what
don't know.
Konami does. I
I don't know. That's what I heard around the time when they fired Kojima,
yeah.
was that they were basically just focusing on producing pachinko parlor cabinets. And there was recently that thing last year where they were just kind of internally exploding for a while. But I'm sure they'll probably just restructure, probably keep fading themselves out of the games industry and keep working on pachinko machines.
I don't
That's
know.
just what I've heard.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What I do think with the Nier game though specifically is they could probably run it for like a little bit just as like a means of reintroducing and recontextualizing things like the Drakengard games and expanding upon ideas in those in the original Nier, and they could probably have some fun like expanded stuff in there for those.
They could, but my only problem with that is you need the man for that, right? You need the dude, you need big Yoko Taro up top
Yeah,
to kind of direct that. And I don't think,
I
I would honestly be surprised with him saying that he's working on a new project now. I believe his quote when he was talking about it and when he's like, "Yeah, I'm working on a new project," was he's created something intriguing that he has no idea of how to market or sell, which is a really funny way to put it.
yeah.
But I
Also,
can't imagine that beyond him making the main story that he's going to have hands on the game like ever again. I'm sure they're just going to put it to some team and have them do some amount of continued support, and then the game will just die. Because I don't know. I don't think you can do the same thing you can with like their Final Fantasy Gacha games. And from every like piece of interview that Yoko Taro had done on the production of Near Reincarnation, it kind of just seems like he didn't want to do it, and Square Enix just approached him and told him that they were going to make a gacha game with the Near IP, and that he was like, "Well, I guess I'll just be in charge of this project. I don't really want them to just take the Near IP and do whatever they want with it."
yeah.
And that's just kind of how it had to happen. But I imagine he's trying to wipe clean of it now.
I don't know.
and just work on what he's working on. But I think you're right. I think it does have a cool like direction they could take it to recontextualize with kind of the direction that Yoko Taro seems to want to take it now. But I don't think that's going to happen, and I think that's for the best.
I think they can swing at least a few more, like, instances of him writing scenarios, or
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think it would be like that much to ask, especially if they pay him enough.
Oh yeah, if they pay him enough.
Yeah, but that's about all I've got with regards to news and what we've been doing with gotcha games or whatever. What I would like to talk about, which I did kind of mention it in our document a little bit cryptically, is harem a genre or not, man? Because
Um,
what I've noticed is that when I was younger and I would see like things described as like harem anime, it was very much just like that, right? Like the whole point was it's a guy surrounded by a lot of girls who he may or may not be like romantically interested in. And that as like a genre in itself as like a romantic comedy harem anime is not so much common anymore, but
yeah,
I do see like the concept manifest in a lot of other types of shows. Like like a lot of isekai shows are also just like harem shows, right?
yeah. The genre has sort of permeated a lot of other genres because of the success it saw, like in the like through the 2000s and into the early 2010s, and has just kind of become standard fare in a lot of shows, regardless of if it's a harem show, and that's what it was at the beginning.
Right.
It's sort of like just an aspect usually. Like it's sort of making a comeback in more pure like this is a harem show. The quintessential quintuplets and we never learn are kind of shows that follow a more traditional harem anime formula. As far as I understand, I'm not watching that shit.
Yeah, not a shot I'm watching that. No
Yeah,
way.
ain't no chance. But most shows like like Overlord or ReZero kind of play at aspects of harem shows without really having to go the mile of properly trying to explore what if all these girls really liked this character, because obviously it's trying to do other stuff,
Yeah.
uh, but also trying to have that slice of the cake it needed too, which fucked up, but it works.
Mhm.
People just are like, oh wow, they really all like this guy. I wish that was me. Like that's really all you need. The
Yeah.
harem show isn't complicated because it can't be, right? Like it is what it is on the tin, and as long as the aspects of a harem show are present in any other context, it's basically like enough
Yeah, just
to achieve the same effect.
just like that idea of like, oh, this character, he's got to he's got to navigate like all these women that want the same thing from him. Haha, he's so desirable.
Yeah,
I wish he was
it's
me.
it also helps for like self-inserting,
Oh yeah.
like
Huge with isekai, self-insert.
yeah, if your goal is to make the viewer be like, damn, this guy is like me, you also get the advantage of having a wide array of girls through which to suit the consumer's taste, as opposed to just risking it on making a romance show between one person, and maybe losing out on like a viewer who wouldn't be interested in a certain girl, because that's like a thing. A lot of people are watching anime for character designs, I've realized recently. And people will watch anime because they're drawn to a design of a specific character. Maybe they're not like, I want to have sex with this character, but they just appreciate the design. And learning that has kind of made a lot of things in my mind make sense with regards to a lot of other people's anime tastes. And the harem genre seems like a fucking cheat code for this,
It is
because you
for
just get to
sure.
throw it at the wall and see what works.
Yeah, you just put out a smorgasbord of like cartoon women, and whoever is like, ooh, just
Yeah, you put on the sample platter.
catches their eye, and they're in for 12 episodes minimum.
Yeah, They'll write it out, maybe read the manga, see what happens with the girl.
Buy the light novel, you know?
Yeah, buy the light novel. Go the whole 9 yards.
I do think it is like, obviously it gets into like, you know, how women are treated in like anime and manga, which is like, I guess the idea of the harem is maybe a little bit disrespectful because it is kind of
Yeah.
treating them just like a platter of lunch meat to be served.
Yeah, they're a platter of lunch meat. They're a palate, really. It's the woman in most harem shows exists only in the context of being an object of the man's affection, right? Like that's always how it is.
Mm-hmm.
It, and I think that's like pretty pretty extremely harmful. Uh, it's definitely not great, but
Extremely harmful.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of the big things in my mind that feeds a lot of like anime objectification because the conceit of a harem show sort of necessitates that their character isn't used for any other purpose, right? Because a pure harem show is in itself like a romance show where there are all these women who the only point to them being in the show is to be an object of affection
Yeah,
for like a male
it's a
character.
competition.
It's not like in a romance anime where it's like a two-way street where it's the feelings of a man and the feelings of a woman, or like whatever arrangement of genders that you want to put in there.
Mm-hmm.
But with the harem show, it is a competition. It is basically one-sided because the whole point of the harem show is the guy can't make a decision or else the show ends at that point, or he chooses all of them and the show is basically the same in its premise as it ever was, and it's a one-way street the entire time. And that's like so fucked up, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the whole purpose of the show necessitates that the girl can't be anything more than a romance or, in some cases, sex object.
Yeah, and it kind of just like presupposes that of course all these girls are just, you know, uh by default into this guy, right?
Yeah, just dripping over this one virginal, like, fucking, like, herbivore male type guy with black hair and a tracksuit. Like, it's wish fulfillment. It's
Yeah.
otaku wish fulfillment like 99% of the time. And
Yeah.
it's like way, way more degenerate most of the time than just your average pervert show.
Yeah.
At least in my mind.
I definitely I definitely see that, you know, it, it manifests in like, I guess, more sinister ways sometimes too, where like, you I don't get why they do the thing where they'll have like child characters also be
Ugh.
like the girl in ReZero who's just like obsessed with Subaru and
And
just,
she's like 12,
yeah, she's
if
like
that.
actually just like an elementary school girl or whatever. And she's just like and you know, like the way he talks about like the way that like in the context of ReZero, the way he talks about like, you know, who he wants to be for this character is like he uses the same kind of tone of voice and a lot of the same language as he does for like the prospective, like, you know, potential romantic interests, which is like super weird,
Super fucking weird.
and I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. Japan's. I feel bad saying things like, "Oh, Japan like fucks children," because I think that while it's certainly true that those elements are more like openly displayed within their media and like less uh like openly shamed, I
Yeah.
think that it applies to like a lot of cultures,
Well, I
right?
mean, like
Like,
Western anime fans eat that up uncritically all the time. So it's
yeah,
like
of
you
course,
can't really put it on them because like
yeah,
we're consuming it too, you know? And
yeah, we're consuming it too, and
we
I
make
think that
stuff
just
that's
like,
creepy about kids all the time.
oh yeah, all the fucking time. It's just in a different way, and I think I don't know. It's just all so fucked up. Why is it all like this? Oh my god.
Bottom line is I'm done with the harem concept. I
I'm done with the Heron concept. Get it out of there.
I want a romance or it's one person with one person, and you know what? If they're both girls, that's all right with me.
I am even then I'm sick to bastard death of romance anime, and I kind of touched on this earlier of romance anime that never goes anywhere. Like
Yeah.
there's so many shows that come out and manga that come out where it's like, oh, this is a romance anime, and it starts off and it's fine, and then oh, well, now we want to serialize it for like a while. So now it gets to go nowhere because now you have to keep making it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so tired of these shows that like go nowhere, do nothing, want to be nothing, and they're just like deeply unsatisfying on every level. Like relationships never develop in like romance shows, which is like so insane to me. Like how have we arrived at a place where the shows are all like that?
Yeah. I'll be honest. I don't even know if I'm probably going to, because I am interested in like the studio producing it, and I do like the manga. But like the Komi-san adaptation, I that's gonna be brutal because it's the manga
It's
is
yeah.
just now getting to the point where like there is like a definite, like relationship in the manga. There's not a chance that the anime is getting there, and there's not a chance that even if they did make several seasons of the anime that it would get there in any reasonable amount of time. And it takes a lot to like, I don't know. It takes a lot for these romance manga to like, or anime to just like commit to it.
Yeah, it's just hasn't happened in so long. That's why I'm so excited with Karakano, because so far it's like completely outside of that. Like it's not like fucking around. They like get into a relationship within like the first couple of episodes, and it's sort of about how the relationship, like the whole point of the show is about how the relationship develops, and it's like it should be that. It should be that like every time. Like there's no reason to just like have them hard stuck pussyfooting around their feelings for one another for the entire series and then end it like 6,000 chapters too late with like a confession, and then it's like, okay, we're done. Like that's the least interesting part of the whole experience, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
There
It's messed up.
there are a few there are a few anime that and manga that like, I guess, kind of subvert that a little bit. Um I don't know if you've ever read or if you watched the anime adaptation Tonikaku Kawaii.
I read it for a little while, and I think it suffers from the same problems, just at different intervals, right? Like, sure, they get into the relationship fast, but then nothing develops, right? The whole thing is they never develop the like whole romance, right? Like, sure,
I get what
they're
you mean.
together.
I feel like it does. It at least I feel like it at least kind of commits to like saying yes, these two characters are definitively into each other and they are in a relationship, but it does drag its feet a little bit with like kind of proving that romance and like kind of
Yeah,
displaying like what that actually means to these characters. But I did think it was refreshing that it was just like at least very straightforward with getting to the point of like, oh no, they're together, they're married in the manga. Like,
yeah. It was neat. I hadn't. That's so uncommon. There was a show. Fuck. It must have been like somewhere like spring summer like 2015 or some shit like that. Somewhere around there. Like plus or minus a year, to be honest with you. But I remember watching a show. It was called I don't remember the English name, but it was Rakudai Kishino Calvary. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before.
no.
That show is, I will say it, real fucking bad. It's trash, garbage. But it was very bold for the main character and the love interest to like pretty much immediately get together. Like it was kind of like a battle shonen show, but they kind of just threw that there and put that in front of you, and I was like, damn, I can't believe they just did that. Like I expected it to just be like a sort of harem adjacent show where all of these girls are coming, for his affections. But no, he finds his girl and he puts a ring on it like insta. And I'm like, damn, I respect that. Too bad the rest of the show fucking sucks balls. But that was cool.
Yeah, unlucky for that show. But yeah, I like that. I like the idea of just like not not wasting time with it. You know, I think it's fine for some shows to be like, take 12 episodes for two characters to hold hands, but sometimes I want something a little bit more immediately gratifying.
Yeah. It's not hard. Just stop caring about producing maximum money. Just let people make the shit they want to make one time, please. Oh God.
That sounds good to wrap. What do you think?
Yeah, that seems good. My mouth is dry. I've talked a lot
Yeah.
about fucking shitty anime.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Have a good night. Have good sleep. Sleep well.